chapters 37 through 42 of the book of Ezekiel, from the Young's Literal Translation of the Bible. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are public domain. For more information, or how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mark Penfold. Chapters 37 through 42 of Ezekiel, from the Young's Literal Translation. Chapter 37. There hath been upon me a hand of Jehovah, and he taketh me forth in the spirit of Jehovah, and doth place me in the midst of the valley. And it is full of bones, and he causeth me to pass over by them, all round about. And lo, very many are on the face of the valley, and lo, very dry. And he saith unto me, Son of man, do these bones live? And I say, O Lord Jehovah, thou hast known. And he saith unto me, Prophesy concerning these bones, and thou hast said unto them, O dry bones, hear a word of Jehovah. Thus said the Lord Jehovah to these bones, Lo, I am bringing into you a spirit, and ye have lived. And I have given on you sinews, and caused flesh to come up upon you, and covered you over with skin, and given in you a spirit, and ye have lived, and ye have known that I am Jehovah. And I have prophesied as I have been commanded, and there is a noise as I am prophesying, and lo, a rushing, and draw near do the bones, bone unto its bone. And I beheld, and lo, on them are sinews, and flesh hath come up, and covered them doth skin over above, and spirit there is none in them. And he saith unto me, Prophesy unto the spirit, prophesy, son of man. And thou hast said unto the spirit, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, From the four winds come in, O spirit, and breathe on these slain, and they do live. And I have prophesied as he commanded me, and the spirit cometh into them, and they live, and stand on their feet, a very, very great force. And he saith unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Lo, they are saying, Dried up have our bones, and perished hath our hope. We have been cut off by ourselves. Therefore prophesy, and thou hast said unto them, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, Lo, I am opening your graves, and have brought you up out of your graves, O my people, and brought you in unto the land of Israel. And ye have known that I am Jehovah in my opening your graves, and in my bringing you up out of your graves, O my people. And I have given my spirit in you, and ye have lived, and I have caused you to rest on your land. And ye have known that I, Jehovah, I have spoken, and I have done it, an affirmation of Jehovah. And there is a word of Jehovah unto me, saying, And thou, son of man, take to thee one stick, and write on it, For Judah, and for the sons of Israel, his companions. And take another stick, and write on it, For Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and all the house of Israel, his companions. And bring them near one unto another to thee, for one stick, and they have become one in thy hand. And when sons of thy people speak unto thee, saying, Dost thou not declare to us what these are to thee? Speak unto them, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, Lo, I am taking the stick of Joseph that is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his companions, and have given them unto him with the stick of Judah, and have made them become one stick, and they have been one in my hand. And the sticks on which thou writest have been in thy hand before thine eyes. And speak thou unto them, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, Lo, I am taking the sons of Israel from among the nations whither they have gone, and have gathered them from round about, and I have brought them in unto their land. And I have made them become one nation in the land on mountains of Israel, and one king is to them all for king. And they are no more as two nations, nor are they divided any more into two kingdoms again, nor are they defiled any more with their idols and with their abominations, and with any of their transgressions. And I have saved them out of all their dwellings in which they have sinned, and I have cleansed them, and they have been to me for a people, and I am to them for God. And my servant David is king over them, and one shepherd have they all. And in my judgments they go, and my statutes they keep, and have done them. And they have dwelt on the land that I gave to my servant, to Jacob, in which your fathers have dwelt. And they have dwelt on it, they and their sons' sons, unto the age. And David my servant is their prince to the age. And I have made to them a covenant of peace, a covenant age-during it is with them. And I have placed them, and multiplied them, and placed my sanctuary in their midst to the age. And my tabernacle hath been over them, and I have been to them for God, and they have been to me for a people. And known have the nations that I, Jehovah, am sanctifying Israel, in my sanctuary being in their midst to the age. Chapter 38. And there was a word of Jehovah unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face unto Gog of the land of Magog, prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy concerning him. And thou hast said, Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, Lo, I am against thee, O Gog, prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and I have turned thee back, and I have put hooks in thy jaws, and have brought thee out, and all thy force, horses and horsemen, clothed in perfection, all of them, a numerous assembly with buckler and shield, handling swords, all of them. Persia, Cush, and Phut with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all its bands, the house of Togarmah of the sides of the north, and all its bands, many peoples with thee. Be prepared, yea, prepare for thee, thou and all thine assemblies who are assembled unto thee, and thou hast been to them for a guard. After many days thou art appointed. In the latter end of the years thou comest in unto a land brought back from sword, a people gathered out of many peoples, upon mountains of Israel that have been for a perpetual waste, and it from the peoples hath been brought out, and dwelt safely have all of them. And thou hast gone up, as wasting thou comest in, as a cloud to cover the land art thou, thou and all thy bands, and many peoples with thee. Thus said the Lord Jehovah. And it hath come to pass in that day, Come up, do things on thy heart, and thou hast thought an evil thought, and thou hast said, I go up against a land of unwalled villages, I go in to those at rest, dwelling confidently. All of them are dwelling without walls, and bar and doors they have not, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn back thy hand on inhabited wastes, and on a people gathered out of nations, making cattle and substance, dwelling on a high part of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and merchants of Tarshish, and all its young lions say to thee, To take a spoil art thou come in? To take a prey assembled thine assembly? To bear away silver and gold? To take away cattle and substance? To take a great spoil? Therefore prophesy, son of man, and thou hast said to Gog, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, In that day, in the dwelling of my people Israel safely, dost thou not know? And thou hast come in out of thy place, from the sides of the north, thou and many peoples with thee, riding on horses, all of them a great assembly, and a numerous force. And thou hast come up against my people Israel, as a cloud to cover the land, in the latter end of the days it is. And I have brought thee in against my land, in order that the nations may know me, in my being sanctified in thee before their eyes, O Gog. Thus said the Lord Jehovah. Art thou he of whom I spake in former days, by the hand of my servants, prophets of Israel, who are prophesying in those days, years, to bring thee in against them? And it hath come to pass in that day, in the day of the coming in of Gog against the land of Israel, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. Come up doth my fury in my face, and in my zeal, in the fire of my wrath I have spoken. Is there not in that day a great rushing on the land of Israel? And rushed from my presence have fishes of the sea, and the fowl of the heavens, and the beast of the field, and every creeping thing that is creeping on the ground, and all men who are on the face of the ground. And thrown down have been the mountains, and fallen have the ascents, and every wall to the earth falleth. And I have called against him to all my mountains a sword, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. The sword of each is against his brother. And I have been judged with him, with pestilence and with blood, and an overflowing rain and hailstones. Fire and brimstone I rain on him, and on his bands, and on many peoples who are with him. And I have magnified myself, and sanctified myself, and I have been known before the eyes of many nations, and they have known that I am Jehovah. Chapter 39. And thou, son of man, prophesy concerning Gog, and thou hast said, Thus said the Lord Jehovah, Lo, I am against thee, O Gog, prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and have turned thee back, and enticed thee, and caused thee to come up from the sides of the north, and brought thee in against mountains of Israel, and have smitten thy bow out of thy left hand, yea, thine arrows out of thy right I cause to fall. On mountains of Israel thou fallest, thou and all thy bands, and the peoples who are with thee, to ravenous fowl, a bird of every wing, and to a beast of the field I have given thee for food. On the face of the field thou fallest, for I have spoken an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. And I have sent a fire against Magog, and against the confident inhabitants of the isles, and they have known that I am Jehovah. And my holy name I make known in the midst of my people Israel, and I pollute not my holy name any more. And known have the nations that I, Jehovah, the Holy One, am in Israel. Lo, it hath come, and it hath been done, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. It is the day of which I spake. And gone out have the inhabitants of cities of Israel, and they have burned and kindled a fire, with armor and shield and buckler, with bow and with arrows and with hand staves and with javelins. And they have caused a fire to burn with them 7 years. And they do not take wood out of the field, nor do they hew out of the forests. For with armor they caused the fire to burn, and they have spoiled their spoilers, and they have plundered their plunderers, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. And it hath come to pass in that day, I give to Gog a place there, a grave in Israel, the valley of those passing by east of the sea, and it is stopping those passing by. And they have buried there Gog and all his multitude, and have cried, O valley of the multitude of Gog! And the house of Israel hath buried them in order to cleanse the land 7 months. Yea, all the people of the land have buried them, and it hath been to them for a name, the day of my being honored, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. And men for continual employment they separate, passing on through the land, burying with those passing by those who are left on the face of the earth, to cleanse it. At the end of 7 months they search. And those passing by have passed through the land, and seen a bone of man, and one hath constructed near it a sign, till those burying have buried it in the valley of the multitude of Gog. And also the name of the city is the multitude, and they have cleansed the land. And thou, son of man, thus said the Lord Jehovah, say to the bird, every wing, and to every beast of the field, Be assembled and come in, be gathered from round about, for my sacrifice that I am sacrificing for you, a great sacrifice on mountains of Israel, and ye have eaten flesh, and drunk blood. Flesh of the mighty ye do eat, and blood of princes of the earth ye drink, of rams, of lambs, and of he-goats, of calves, fatlings of Bashan, all of them. And ye have eaten fat to satiety, and ye have drunk blood to drunkenness, of my sacrifice that I sacrificed for you. And ye have been satisfied at my table with horse and rider, mighty man and every man of war, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. And I have given my honor among nations, and seen have all the nations my judgment that I have done, and my hand that I have laid on them. And known have the house of Israel that I am Jehovah their God, from that day and henceforth. And known have the nations that for their iniquity removed have the house of Israel, because they have trespassed against me. And I do hide my face from them, and give them into the hand of their adversaries, and they fall by sword, all of them. According to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions I have done with them, and I do hide my face from them. Therefore, thus said the Lord Jehovah, Now do I bring back the captivity of Jacob, and I have pitied all the house of Israel, and have been zealous for my holy name. And they have forgotten their shame, and all their trespass that they trespassed against me, in their dwelling on their land confidently, and none troubling. In my bringing them back from the peoples, I have assembled them from the lands of their enemies, and I have been sanctified in them before the eyes of the many nations. And they have known that I am Jehovah their God, in my removing them unto the nations. And I have gathered them unto their land, and I leave none of them any more there. And I hide not any more my face from them, in that I have poured out my spirit on the house of Israel, an affirmation of the Lord Jehovah. Chapter 40. In the 25th year of our removal, in the beginning of the year, in the 10th of the month, in the 14th year after that the city was smitten, In this selfsame day hath a hand of Jehovah been upon me, and he bringeth me in thither. In visions of God he hath brought me in unto the land of Israel, and causeth me to rest on a very high mountain, and upon it is as the frame of a city on the south. And he bringeth me in thither, and lo, a man, his appearance as the appearance of brass, and a thread of flax in his hand, and a measuring reed, and he is standing at the gate. And the man speaketh unto me, Son of man, see with thine eyes, and with thine ears hear, and set thy heart to all that I am shewing thee, for in order to shew it thee, thou hast been brought in hither. Declare all that thou art seeing to the house of Israel. And lo, a wall on the outside of the house all round about, and in the hand of the man a measuring reed, 6 cubits by a cubit and a handbreadth. And he measureth the breadth of the building 1 reed, and the height 1 reed. And he cometh in unto the gate, whose front is eastward, and he goeth up by its steps, and he measureth the threshold of the gate 1 reed broad, even the one threshold 1 reed broad. And the little chamber 1 reed long, and 1 reed broad, and between the little chambers 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gate, from the side of the porch of the gate from within, 1 reed. And he measureth the porch of the gate from within 1 reed. And he measureth the porch of the gate 8 cubits, and its posts 2 cubits, and the porch of the gates from within, and the little chambers of the gate eastward, 3 on this side, and 3 on that side. 1 measure is to them 3, and 1 measure is to the posts, on this side and on that side. And he measureth the breadth of the opening of the gate 10 cubits, the length of the gate 13 cubits. And a border before the little chambers 1 cubit, and 1 cubit is the border on this side, and the little chamber is 6 cubits on this side, and 6 cubits on that side. And he measureth the gate from the roof of the one little chamber to the roof of another, the breadth 25 cubits, opening over against opening. And he maketh the posts of 60 cubits, even unto the post of the court, the gate all round about. And by the front of the gate of the entrance, by the front of the porch of the inner gate, 50 cubits. And narrow windows are unto the little chambers, and unto their posts at the inside of the gate all round about, and so to the arches. And windows all round about are at the inside, and at the post are palm trees. And he bringeth me in unto the outer court, and lo, chambers and a pavement made for the court all round about, 30 chambers on the pavement. And the pavement unto the side of the gates over against the length of the gates is the lower pavement. And he measureth the breadth from before the lower gate to the front of the inner court, on the outside, 100 cubits, eastward and northward. As to the gate of the outer court whose front is northward, he hath measured its length and its breadth, and its little chambers, 3 on this side and 3 on that side, and its posts and its arches have been according to the measure of the first gate, 50 cubits its length, and the breadth 25 by the cubit. And its windows, and its arches, and its palm trees, are according to the measure of the gate whose face is eastward, and by 7 steps they go up on it, and its arches are before them. And the gate of the inner court is over against the gate at the north and at the east. And he measureth from gate unto gate 100 cubits. And he causeth me to go southward, and lo, a gate southward. And he hath measured its posts and its arches according to these measures. And windows are to it, and to its arches all round about, like these windows, 50 cubits the length, and the breadth 25 cubits. And 7 steps are its ascent, and its arches are before them, and palm trees are to it, 1 on this side, and 1 on that side, at its posts. And the gate of the inner court is southward, and he measureth from gate unto gate southward, 100 cubits. And he bringeth me in unto the inner court by the south gate, and he measureth the south gate according to these measures. And its little chambers, and its posts, and its arches are according to these measures, and windows are to it and to its arches all round about, 50 cubits the length, and the breadth 25 cubits. As to the arches all round about, the length is 25 cubits, and the breadth 5 cubits. And its arches are unto the outer court, and palm trees are unto its posts, and 8 steps are its ascent. And he bringeth me in unto the inner court eastward, and he measureth the gate according to these measures. And its little chambers, and its posts, and its arches are according to these measures. And windows are to it and to its arches all round about, the length 50 cubits, and the breadth 25 cubits. And its arches are toward the outer court, and palm trees are toward its posts, on this side and on that side, and 8 steps are its ascent. And he bringeth me in unto the north gate, and hath measured according to these measures. Its little chambers, its posts, and its arches, and windows are to it all round about, the length 50 cubits, and the breadth 25 cubits. And its posts are to the outer court, and palm trees are unto its posts, on this side and on that side, and 8 steps are its ascent. And the chamber and its opening is by the posts of the gates. There they purge the burnt offering. And in the porch of the gate are 2 tables on this side, and 2 tables on that side, to slaughter on them the burnt offering, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering. And at the side without, at the going up to the opening of the north gate, are 2 tables, and at the other side that is at the porch of the gate are 2 tables. 4 tables are on this side, and 4 tables on that side, at the side of the gate, 8 tables, on which they slaughter. And the 4 tables for burnt offering are of hewn stone, the length 1 cubit and a half, and the breadth 1 cubit and a half, and the height 1 cubit. On them they place the instruments with which they slaughter the burnt offering and the sacrifice. And the boundaries are 1 handbreadth, prepared within all round about. And on the tables is the flesh of the offering. And on the outside of the inner gate are chambers of the singers, in the inner court, that are at the side of the north gate, and their fronts are southward, one at the side of the east gate, half the front northward. And he speaketh unto me, This chamber, whose front is southward, is for priests keeping charge of the house, and the chamber, whose front is northward, is for priests keeping charge of the altar. They are sons of Zadok, who are drawing near of the sons of Levi unto Jehovah, to serve him. And he measureth the court, the length 100 cubits, and the breadth 100 cubits, square, and the altar is before the house. And he bringeth me in unto the porch of the house, and he measureth the post of the porch, 5 cubits on this side, and 5 cubits on that side, and the breadth of the gate 3 cubits on this side, and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch 20 cubits, and the breadth 11 cubits, and by the steps whereby they go up unto it. And pillars are at the posts, one on this side, and one on that side. Chapter 41. And he bringeth me in unto the temple, and he measureth the posts, 6 cubits the breadth on this side, and 6 cubits the breadth on that side, the breadth of the tent. And the breadth of the opening is 10 cubits, and the sides of the opening are 5 cubits on this side, and 5 cubits on that side. And he measureth its length 40 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. And he hath gone inward, and measureth the post of the opening 2 cubits, and the opening 6 cubits, and the breadth of the opening 7 cubits. And he measureth its length 20 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits, unto the front of the temple. And he saith unto me, This is the Holy of Holies. And he measureth the wall of the house 6 cubits, and the breadth of the side chamber 4 cubits, all round the house round about. And the side chambers are side chamber by side chamber, 33 times. And they are entering into the wall, which the house hath for the side chambers all round about, to be taken hold of, and they are not taken hold of by the wall of the house. And a broad place and a turning place still upwards are to the side chambers, for the turning round of the house is still upwards all round about the house. Therefore the breadth of the house is upwards, and so the lower one goeth up unto the higher by the midst. And I have looked at the house, the height all around about. The foundations of the side chambers are the fullness of the reed, 6 cubits by the joining. The breadth of the wall that is to the side chamber at the outside is 5 cubits, and that which is left is the place of the side chambers that are to the house. And between the chambers is a breadth of 20 cubits round about the house. all round about. And the opening of the side chamber is to the place left, one opening northward, and one opening southward, and the breadth of the place that is left is 5 cubits all round about. As to the building that is at the front of the separate place at the corner westward, the breadth is 70 cubits, and the wall of the building 5 cubits broad all round about, and its length 90 cubits. And he hath measured the house, the length is 100 cubits, and the separate place, and the building, and its walls, the length is 100 cubits. And the breadth of the front of the house, and of the separate place eastward, 100 cubits. And he hath measured the length of the building unto the front of the separate place that is at its hinder part, and its galleries on this side and on that side, 100 cubits, and the inner temple and the porches of the court, the thresholds, and the narrow windows, and the galleries round about them 3, over against the threshold, a ceiling of wood all round about, and the ground unto the windows and the covered windows, over above the opening, and unto the inner house, and at the outside, and by the wall all round about within and without by measure. And it is made with cherubs and palm trees, and a palm tree is between cherub, and 2 faces are to the cherub. And the face of man is unto the palm tree on this side, and the face of a young lion unto the palm tree on that side. It is made unto all the house all round about. From the earth unto above the opening are the cherubs and the palm trees made, and on the wall of the temple. Of the temple the side post is square, and of the front of the sanctuary the appearance is as the appearance. Of the altar the wood is 3 cubits in height, and its length 2 cubits, and its corners are to it, and its length, and its walls are of wood. And he speaketh unto me, This is the table that is before Jehovah. And 2 doors are to the temple and to the sanctuary, and 2 leaves are to the doors, 2 turning leaves are to the doors, 2 to the one door, and 2 leaves to the other. And made on them, on the doors of the temple, are cherubs and palm trees, as are made on the walls. And a thickness of wood is at the front of the porch on the outside. And narrow windows and palm trees are on this side and on that side, at the sides of the porch, and the side chambers of the house, and the thick places. Chapter 42. And he bringeth me forth unto the outer court, the way northward. And he bringeth me in unto the chamber that is over against the separate place, and that is over against the building at the north. At the front of the length is 100 cubits at the north opening, and the breadth 50 cubits. Over against the 20 cubits that are to the inner court, and over against the pavement that is to the outer court, is gallery over against gallery, in the 3 stories. And at the front of the chambers is a walk of 10 cubits in breadth unto the inner part, a way of 1 cubit, and their openings are at the north. And the upper chambers are short, for the galleries contain more than these, than the lower and than the middle one of the building. For they are threefold, and they have no pillars as the pillars of the court, therefore it hath been kept back, more than the lower and than the middle one, from the ground. As to the wall that is at the outside over against the chambers, the way of the outer court at the front of the chambers, its length is 50 cubits. For the length of the chambers that are to the outer court is 50 cubits, and of those on the front of the temple 100 cubits. And under these chambers is the entrance from the east, in one's going into them from the outer court. In the breadth of the wall of the court eastward, unto the front of the separate place, and unto the front of the building, are chambers. And the way before them is as the appearance of the chambers that are northward, according to their length, so is their breadth, and all their outlets, and according to their fashions, and according to their openings. And according to the openings of the chambers that are southward is an opening at the head of the way directly in front of the wall eastward in entering them. And he saith unto me, The north chambers, the south chambers that are at the front of the separate place, they are holy chambers, where the priests who are near to Jehovah eat the most holy things. There they place the most holy things, and the present, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering, for the place is holy. In the priests going in, they come not out from the sanctuary unto the outer court, and there they place their garments with which they minister, for they are holy, and have put on other garments, and have drawn near unto that which is for the people. And he hath finished the measurements of the inner house, and hath brought me forth the way of the gate whose front is eastward, and he hath measured it all round about. He hath measured the east side with the measuring reed, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He hath measured the north side, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. The south side he hath measured, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed. He hath turned round unto the west side, he hath measured 500 reeds, with the measuring reed. At the four sides he hath measured it. A wall is to it all round about, the length 500, and the breadth 500, to separate between the holy and the profane place. The end of chapters 37 through 42 of the book of Ezekiel, from the Young's Literal Translation of the Bible. Recording by Mark Penfold.